Sometimes when I'm thinking about us, before we got lost and we parted, back to back we would carry on and we'd do anything for what we started. But this time we could break. I'm running dry, everything's the same. We'll try tonight. This time we're not safe and sound, not safe and sound. Back we would carry on and we'd do anything for what we started. But this time we could break. I'm running dry, everything's the same. We'll try tonight. This time we're not safe and sound, not safe and sound. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the FPV News for February 6, 2024. Blunty.
Bardwell.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no. Blunty.
Bardwell.
We're going to do some news. No,
we are.
I feel like we hyped that more. I wish we had something better. That was so good. Like you were just right there with me. That's what I need. I really respect an improv partner who just drops in with you.
The problem is, for people who've never done this remotely, maybe if you try to do it over a Zoom call, you might understand. It's difficult to do call and response and not step over each other in something like that. You have to really know when somebody's queuing you for something, and they have to know that you're going to come in to
because of the delay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a delay? Because we're on a Discord call.
100%.
That sucks.
No, I'm coming through you from the stream thing, and you're coming to me through Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do? Let me ask you this: do you ever do improv in your life?
No.
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 You were right there. You just dropped into the scene. I was impressed.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
I'm sure I
don't
could
have that instinct.
Yeah. I've always been like you may not get the impression from the show because we're doing a show and I have an on-air personality, but I am often considered the funny person of my friend group
I'm sorry. I'm surprised you have a friend group. And I don't mean this is going to sound insulting, but I don't mean it that way. Like, I only ever see you sitting in your bedroom in front of the computer, sometimes with a doggo behind you. And I just assumed that was like basically I know intellectually that you go fishing every now and then, but like the idea that you have a friend group, wow.
Yeah,
I'm learning. I'm shocked.
It's almost as if only seeing people through a camera and a specific lens and at small times can be a parasocial relationship.
Don't make me have any realizations about my life. Don't make me learn anything. No, instead, we're going to make them learn things. We're going to make you learn things about the news, FPV news. I don't think you're an incel. That's different than anyway, that's unimportant. Improv is incredibly fun when you're the one doing it. And it is incredibly painful for the audience almost all the time, unless you're very, very good at it.
Yes. I heard a great, the most improv is bad, like that's how it goes, right? But you stumble into something good and you have fun doing it. But I think the best tip I ever heard, like I've never actually, you know what I mean? But like the best tip I ever heard is don't care about anything else. Just listen to what the last thing that the last person said to you and then respond to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to really struggle with my son when he was young, when he was like 3 or 4 years old, because one of the rules in improv is that you never say no. Like if someone says, "Why is there a duck on your head?" and you say, "What do you mean? There's no duck on my head." You just killed the scene. You take what the people give you and you add to it. So he'd be like, "Look, Optimus Prime is fighting with G.I. Joe." And I'd be like, "Yeah." And then along comes Megatron. And he'd be like, "Megatron's not here. What are you doing?" And I'm like, I was participating in the story. He's like, "What, are you crazy? There's no Megatron here." Anyway, Optimus Prime and G.I. Joe. And I'm like, "You're terrible at improv, you 4-year-old." Anyway. Really hurt me. It hurt me. Anyway, enough bullshit. Sorry, BS. Enough BS. Let's get on with the news. We're going to start out with our public service announcements, little things that like you need to know because they might affect you and might cause a big problem for you, or maybe not. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And our first PSA is going to be about Betaflight. If you're using 4.5, you might be using release candidate 2, Betaflight 4.5 RC2. And I fixed for 3 people in one day this bug. I let them know about it, which is that you cannot use BL Heli Suite and you cannot use BL Heli 32 Passthrough on 4.5 RC2. And I know I had quite a few users who were trying to figure out what they were doing wrong and confused and all this stuff. So you can easily verify by flashing back to 4.4.3, getting your business done, and going back to 4.5 RC2 if you need to.
Okay. All right. So, I've actually done a video about upgrading to Betaflight 4.5. This didn't hit me because I can't remember the last time I used BL Heli to change. Well, the main things you do are you change your motor direction. That's it. You change your motor direction. Like theoretically, you could do some tweaking with like the PWM frequency, but in general, a lot of people just run the defaults. And since Betaflight can change the motor direction, well, then you don't need to log into BL Heli as much. I had one person tell me, and I don't know if this is true, that it also broke the ability to reverse the motors from Betaflight. Have you seen that? Because that doesn't jibe for me.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
All I know is that the pass-through is broken, but I don't think pass-through is necessary for reversing motors.
I don't think so either, because reversing the motors is a D-shot command. So it seems like that's totally unrelated to pass-through, and it seemed to me like this person was like maybe mixing up some information.
Could be wrong, but yeah.
Anyway, so like, is it possible? There's a question in the chat. Is it possible to flash BL Heli without pass-through? And the answer is yes. Have you ever done it? How old are you?
Well, are you talking? Yeah, I'm
not literally your age, but
not that old in the hobby. But are we talking about a C2 flash, or is there some other method I don't know?
Well, the C2 flash would be for So C2 flash is for BL Heli S ESCs, where you've bricked them and you need to recover them. That's something different. That is a thing.
BL Heli 32 is licensed, right? So that makes it more difficult. Yeah.
Yes, but there is a way to use an Arduino as a BL Heli programmer. They call it the 4-in-1 interface, or the 4-way interface. That's it, 4-way interface. So that you can get an Arduino, and then from BL Heli Suite, you flash custom code to the Arduino, and then the Arduino connects to the signal wire to the ESC, and can program the ESC that way. I haven't done that in years. 5 to 7 years, a long time. Because as soon as they invented pass-through, everyone was like, yes, let's never have this problem. You used to have to unplug your ESC from your flight controller because they plugged into pins. They weren't soldered. And you plug it into your programmer. Anyway, I probably have a video out there somewhere of doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Old man Bardwell tells tales of
Yes, yes. Well, we're a little light on news, so I'm trying to stretch the content.
That's fair.
So for people who are like, oh, I hope they don't
make a
run
video
long.
now about using an Arduino to flash your BL Heli ESCs using BL Heli Suite.
8 years ago,
this
I
is
made
a thing
this video.
that I see a lot of questions about.
All right, enough.
Set my board
This is your
correctly.
whispering monotone face.
And if I set my COM port correctly, yes, COM 6, a nano,
Blah, 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 blah.
either to the Arduino.
Good times. Look at this.
Test.
What am I testing?
9, 10, 11, 12 on. I'll plug these in together.
Oh my God.
The ground
Look, I've got this all
wire,
stuck down with double-sided
go
tape.
to all four.
This was my Arduino sort
The
of
ground
project
wires on the ESC.
situation.
Wire for the
Yeah.
ESC, like so.
Look at my individual ESCs.
I can find
Then-
which Arduino board I have.
And then, in the end,
Exact same
yay, it
configuration. So I'm gonna
works,
put
just
1,
like
2,
you
3,
expect.
4.
So, for those of you who said, is it possible to do it without pass-through? Yes, but no, you don't want to. So,
Something's doing the pass-through. You got to set it up.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's just the flight controller. They were like, hey, you don't need an Arduino for this. We'll let the flight controller do it. We got one more PSA, and it relates to a holiday, but not a holiday for us here in the U.S. Holiday in China.
Yeah, we wanted to tell you / remind you about Chinese New Year. That is just beginning. We showed I got a couple links here. Cadex and T-Motor. Cadex is starting on the 7th, which is tomorrow, and we'll be going to the 17th. And then T-Motor's also got their dates from the 6th to the 18th. This is going to be a lot of different companies you're going to see. If you're new to the hobby, this will happen every year. It just means that anything you order from overseas or anything you're expecting to get shipped to somebody and then overseas, like stock, is often going to be delayed until somewhere around the middle of February. Typically 7 to 16 days after it starts is when we kind of see the end of it.
So, like, if you were to order it, then it wouldn't even begin shipping. Like, they're just literally not there. They just all go home. They all go back to their home province or whatever and then spend time with their families and don't think about work. And oftentimes, although I've found that some of the companies that work with people in the West, like, the person will still answer their messages. I'm like not sure how I feel about that. I kind of feel bad. But as far as purchasing, you're just SOL until the 17th. So it may already be too late. I mean, technically those dates haven't hit yet, but like if you were to place an order today, the chances there's still a chance it wouldn't go out and you'd just be SOL.
Definitely. It depends on the company for sure. Some will be operating until the end of the week and some won't.
So just support your local store. Oh, they won't be able to get product either.
Yeah,
okay,
buy what they have.
What's that?
Buy what they have.
Yeah. Or just, whatever, take a break. Okay, we have one big story today. And we should start off by saying, is this story like mostly rumors or is it more solid than that? Because I don't want to scare people.
Yeah, so this story comes from 533. You might know Evan Turner. This report is from Armando at 533, who works with Evan Turner and does their ordering and things for their store. And Armando reported that they were not able to get their shipment of VTXs that they normally order. They were denied by the company they normally order them for. And Armando inquired as to why that was. And here's the response that Armando received from them. And he said, which chip is causing the shortage? He basically said, hey, there's some kind of shortage going on. They said there's a chip shortage. And this is the RTC 6705. So that's the rich wave chip that we use, the analog rich wave chip that goes inside of all VTXs, basically, to receive from the 6715, which is in the VRX, or to send to the VRX. And they said, basically, we're not sure if all VTX prices will go up, but that chip price is going up, and it's very crazy. That's sort of the response from their contact. I looked around a lot. It can be very difficult to find if you're not like a company who's ordering a large quantity and have communication with the vendor.
Right.
Right. It can be very difficult to understand what actual stocks are, who can sell you what, and what the prices will actually be at order.
Yeah.
So the best I can tell you is that this order was denied to 533. 533 has been regularly ordering and was denied. And the reason
Do we
I
know
heard is that
who the manufacturer was, or is that not?
that is confidential information as far as I understand it.
Okay,
But basically,
no
my understanding is that went to bind and fly / manufactured quads at companies and manufacturers who needed to build quads versus going to a store to sell.
But just to be clear, the Richwave chip is only used in analog video transmitters and receivers.
Correct.
Therefore, that we can assume it was not HD0.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It was definitely analog. This is an analog story, analog issue for sure.
So 533 was buying analog video transmitters from a vendor.
Correct.
And then the vendor said, I have to send those to Bind and Flies rather than send them to you for sale individually because Bind and Flies are presumably more profitable.
Yeah. And
so
so
that relationship is more important.
Said it's because of that chip shortage on the RTC 6705. So
okay, wow.
You can, I can, you know, if this is accurate, if this is not just one vendor, if this is not just like some kind of misunderstanding, you know, you can see the same information we have. But basically, if that's the case, I would expect analog VTX prices to rise. Who knows how long or why or what the shortage is about? I don't know anything else about that. You know, if you guys have any information about this, I'd love to get info to the email. We'd
like hard info.
Yes, we'd be happy to parse that out for sure.
Okay, so I want to be really clear about this because we walk a fine line between giving you information that you could use to sort of inform your decision making and like stirring up unfounded rumors and giving false information. This has enough potential credibility that we thought it was worth passing on. But I want to be really clear that we're not. So if in the next month nothing happens, I don't want people to come back and be like, y'all said there was going to be a VTX shortage. You were wrong. That's not what we're saying. But if in the next month VTX prices double or triple, I'm totally going to go, yes, I told you this would happen. Give me, and it's having it both ways, and I don't care.
Yeah, be prepared. That's what we're telling you, right? It could happen. So
okay. Super Deluxe has an Apex for sale, $2,000. What is it, a Mr. Steel Apex? Ha ha! Okay, I'm sorry. If you have any information about that, credible information that you can back up with facts, by all means, email news@fpvknowitall.com, which is down there in the bottom left corner of the screen for every live stream. So,
absolutely.
I am so tempted to bring up the 533 website and look at what fans they sell and guess which manufacturer it was. But out of respect for the people who try that keep that information confidential, I will not do that. Nevertheless, all of you can go do that. Okay, let's move on.
All right. All right. Next up, we come to our some of our normal segments we do every week. We got a few different ones. So our first is the cinematic of the week. We've got a snowy mountain at sunset, and this is where I want to say real quick. We know about the Red Bull video. There's a Red Bull video from a couple months ago, but unfortunately, we get copy struck by Red Bull. We had that happen before, so we can't show that clip on the show. But just so you know. There's a great skiing video from Red Bull that you might want to check out as well.
The skiing video from Red Bull? I haven't seen it.
Yep.
Oh, I haven't seen this. Why don't I just watch it right now?
Okay.
So there's a dude and he's skiing and he jumps off a jump and he rides over a thing and he does a backflip. And then this other dude is like paralleling him on skis, I assume. Now they're skiing backwards through some trees. Though they went backwards off a jump and did another backflip. Is this a drone and not another skier? If this is a drone and not another skier, this is the smoothest freaking drone I've ever seen.
So this video is a cut together. So it's multiple angles and multiple cuts that happen in the snow. So essentially it's like on the ground with a skier on a camera, and then it transitions into the drone flying over and doing shots and then coming back to the, it's like,
I see snow being kicked up, which makes me think this shot's from a skier. It looks almost like a 360 cam the way it transitions between the shots. Yeah. When's the drone footage? Oh, big backflip.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, you guys can't see because...
I know. That's not a mistake.
Yeah, it's not a mistake.
If I show this footage, Red Bull will copy claim the video. So instead, I'm just going to watch it. Because, again, we don't have a ton of content this week. Okay, it does a little half pipe.
It's a skiing video that Red Bull published.
Now, this is the drone. Ago. Oh, my God. We transitioned to the drone. Now the drone is flying around. I'll put the link in the video description if people want to watch it. Oh, that's the least I could do. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Like, it's not like the wildest drone shots I've ever seen, but the transitioning into and out of the drone shots, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. The snow being kicked up must correspond with the skier holding the camera landing just at the end of the jump. Anyway, it's like I'm only halfway through, but I'm not going to finish it on stream while you guys just stand there. Instead, we're going to show this cinematic, Snowy Mountain at Sunset. And we are going to show it. What I like to say for each of these cinematics, so it's a 5-minute cinematic, we're going to show enough of it that you get a taste and want to watch it, because the original creator, who is Babang Deschamps, like man in French? I don't know. The original creator deserves the views, and we're not going to try to steal the views. I also am not going to play the audio because of the chance that it'll be copyrighted music and I'll get a copy strike. Again, more motivation. There's a link in the video description below for you to go watch the original. My best FPV sunset line of the year. I love the color grade here. Such a nice, delicate color grade with the blues and the pinks. Beautiful, beautiful little blue and teal and magenta, pink. Not magenta. Anyway, beautiful color grade. Very nice. Okay. And he's going to... Whoa! Flying the Helion! Nice. 10-inch Helion. I'm going to guess there's no music in this part. Here we go. Just such a nice blue shadows on the edge of this mountain, on the lee side of the mountain. Very good color grade with the sun not being overexposed in the sky too much. Catching those details. I wonder if he shot in 10-bit. Beautiful. Going up to the top. It's a shame he can't go down the sunny side because he'll probably fail safe. We're going to get just a glimpse of the sunny side. Really impressed with the color grade. What am I watching? 4K. Okay. Yeah, there's no banding in the sky. This is a very nice upload. Oh, and the flying's pretty good too. Very nice. No jello or anything. This Helion looks like it's flying great. Okay, he's going to go up and he's going to turn to fly down, isn't he? Yeah. Oh, no, we got a cutaway. Beautiful footage and very nice flying. Love it. There's a link in the video description below. Let's see, 870 views. Has it gone up? No, still 807 views. Okay, y'all are just watching me watch it. Very, very nice. Go watch the rest of it after you finish watching this stream. Okay. Well, we got another cool video. It's not a cinematic, though, right? Oh, shit. I don't hear you. What have we done wrong? Check. Nope. I think I've lost you, dude. That's exactly what happened before the... There you go.
Okay. That's weird. All right. We're good.
Okay. Keep going. We got another video. This one's not a cinematic, but it's a cool video that we want to share. You want to tell us anything about it?
This is from a creator, RC Testflight, that we've shown on the channel before. He makes fun stuff with drones. RC Lifeline, rather. And he makes fun stuff with drones, and this is another fun thing he made with drones.
Okay.
So, let's check it out.
He has 884,000 subscribers and 331,000 views, so I don't think we're going to steal too many of his views, but it's also a 15-minute video, so we're not going to watch too much of it. Please don't copy strike me. There's a link in the video description below. So what we got here is a boomerang.
One first. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Great. So dude knows how to throw a boomerang. Now he's going to make a
suspiciously similar. It's not going to
Boomerang
be a
drone.
radio-controlled Boomerang. It is going to be RC as I have to adjust the throttle, but I don't intend for it to fly forward or be able to go left and right. Just a quick side note, we have like the greatest winter ever in Sweden, and I was stupid enough to make the Boomerang.
Okay, I see what. I see
have
what.
no idea if this will work.
Oh, so it's going to spin by the
on the bottom
propellers.
side of the Boomerang so that we can spin up the Boomerang and see if it can take off with just the wings to generate enough lift. I also
Well, this is kind of like that
battery
helicopter that
transitioned,
right, Blunty? Between VTOL and Rotor
I
flight.
also have the 360 camera ready to go. Let's see if it takes off.
I think that was Nicholas Wren.
Gosh, that's scary.
Yeah, no shit. Scary.
I think it's the battery not being able to supply all the amps.
Yep, that's
It's kind of harder to throw though.
Right down into the snow. Hey, later. Yeah, no.
For sure, that was more pathetic than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
So, you see, I have a sneaking suspicion that this speed controller is the one that you know. So we'll have to sacrifice the second EC, which I'm hoping works. It was this weird noise from the motors.
Yeah.
The same kind of vibrating sound you could hear from this. Idea with this kind of setup. I've 3D printed a small holder, and what I want to do.
Oh my God! Wow.
Okay, it's not lifting. It's Jesus Christ.
Why is it not lifting? You need to tilt the. Is he bending it? Oh my God! Oh, is that 3D printed?
The wings. Let's see if it makes a difference.
This is so dangerous. Oh shit!
That was pretty good. That was really good. I gotta try that again.
Oh my goodness. So this, what? Do you remember who to search for if I want to find that other video?
Yeah,
that
Nicholas Rem. R-E-H-M.
Nicholas Rem. Is that it? Yeah, unfolding quadcopter. Yeah,
I recently had a fast.
That's not the right one.
Yeah, you got to go to his channel.
Tri-mode VTOL?
I think that's it.
Oh yeah. So if you think that's cool, this is pretty cool. He's kind of doing the same thing, but the wings are variable pitch, so it actually generates lift and flies and hovers. It's pretty freaking cool. All right. Well, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Next up, we've got some events to tell the people about.
Yeah, and the first event is going to be the Underground Whoop League. If you haven't heard about UWL, it's been going for a little while. It's basically a spec whoop series with RPM limiting and 75mm frames and stuff to kind of keep everybody competitive and try to do more of the slower spec style racing.
Yeah. I met one of the organizers of this spec class at the whoop race in Knoxville this weekend, and he was like, yeah, he showed me one of the whoops, thought it was pretty cool, and asked him to send this in. So if you're interested in whoop racing, and especially if you're interested in spec racing, which I really enjoy spec racing, where everybody's on an equal footing. But then I also enjoy spec racing like a Street League or Freedom Spec, where you intentionally make the quads fly bad is the gist of it. You make them heavy, you make them underpowered, because I think it really brings out the difference in the piloting, and it also makes it easier for people who don't maybe have those twitch reflexes of the 10-year-olds to still lose, but maybe not lose by quite as much.
Yeah, I think the major downside of specs is just sourcing parts and getting things, especially overseas or different areas. But yeah, if you can do that, if you can source this stuff, and this has a decent amount of options for motors and frames. You do have to run the CAC firmware for RPM limiting and stuff, but
it does.
It does seem like this is a pretty cool spec, and it looks like they're doing it in a few different places currently. Ohio, there's a lot of action going on in Ohio, some in Kentucky and Michigan, and Indiana.
EDOC points out, and I don't misunderstand me here. EDOC points out that UWL doesn't fly bad like Freedom Spec or Street League, where they've intentionally made the drones heavy and underpowered to force pilots to focus on clean piloting. I didn't mean to suggest that. I was just sort of pontificating about spec racing in general. So very cool. If you're into whoop racing and you want to try out a new spec, the Underground Whoop League, there's a link in the video description below how you can get started with that. We got a race. We got some race footage here. Oh yeah. The other thing about this is that their course designs are more sort of wide open. I don't know how they enforce this, but they're the ones organizing the races.
Yeah.
So
with the 75, it's much easier if you're wide open.
Yeah. So they don't necessarily have the ultra tight 65 millimeter style tracks where you basically just have like their Racegow track can be set up in a 6x6 foot area, and that's the whole track. So here you've got a little bit of time to kind of open up the throttle. And they also require LEDs, which means that it's better for spectating because you can see the other racers that you're chasing. And the long straights also mean that you can kind of see the people who you're catching up with and get inspired to catch them. It just makes for a really fun style of racing. So excellent.
We did a Tiny Hawk 2 spec racing a couple years back, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You just off the shelf, you have a thing you can fly and compete, and it's got LEDs on it, and yeah, good time.
Yeah, good. All right, we got one more event. This one is, of course, near and dear to my heart. It is Rotor Riot Rampage. Rampage tickets are on sale now. For people who don't know, what is Rampage?
Rampage is an event that happens in Bardwell, South Carolina, that's put on by Rotor Riot, and it's like a big ultimate freestyle hangout party session, basically, right?
Yeah, 100%. The idea was that there's a lot of racing focused events, and what if there was an event that was exclusively freestyle? Not that you can't race there. But it's really focused on finding the coolest environment. So this was originally going to be like a nuclear fuel processing plant, or I don't know, something like that. They started building it, and then they, for some reason, didn't finish building it. And then it was bought. Now it belongs to Government Training Institute, GTI. They do all kinds of law enforcement training here. But then, one weekend a year, Rotor Riot rents it out. And last year was the very first year that they brought drift cars. And so there would just be a flight line, and they would say at 5 o'clock the drift cars are going to be there. And everybody would just take their pack and chase the drift cars. And the drift cars would just go again and again and again. The same lines, so you could kind of learn the lines and practice and get some good footage. Who knows what they're going to do to up the ante this year. It is a real blast. So if you're interested in going, then tickets are available now. I wonder if the platinum passes and so forth are still available.
The platinum passes sold out in 15 minutes, even though they're $350 more this year than they were last year.
Wow.
So
yeah. So the platinum passes, well, that's hilarious to me because the platinum pass is 4 days. You get to come an extra day early, which is great because they limit the number of tickets sold so that there's not just 700 people trying to fly and you never get a pack. So they limit the number of tickets sold to a reasonable number based on the number of packs that people could fly in a given day. But then if you really want to come a day early, there's much fewer people there, and you can get more packs in. And it includes a sort of a dorm room, a trailer dorm with 10, 12 bedrooms in it that you can stay in, so you don't even have to leave the site or camp. And every year, and I'll just bitch a little bit here. Every year, people complain about the price. Not the people who bought tickets, because every year the tickets sell out instantly. But every year, people who weren't going to spend the money complain that the price is too high. And then the tickets sell out in 15 minutes. So you go, well, I guess the price wasn't too high.
Right. I mean, that's immediately what I saw. The discourse was like, "Oh, this is crazy! I can't believe how much the price went up. This is insane!" And then it sells out right away. So
yeah, it's a great experience, and it's not like Rotor Riot is like rolling in cash. It's all, and I don't know. I'm not like intimately acquainted. I don't run the event. I'm not in any of the meetings, and I'm not intimately acquainted with the financials. But it's really expensive. Like renting that site is really expensive. So, But I'm happy that people found it to be worth spending the money. It's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. All right.
People are asking if you're going this year. Are you going?
I cannot confirm that I am going. I know that's very carefully worded. I know that there are people who would like to make their decision with the knowledge of whether I'm going. My schedule is kind of crazy right now, for reasons that I won't go into. And currently, that week is free. But if I said that I definitely was going, I wouldn't say that unless I was 100% sure I was going to go. And I'm not there, so that's the answer, the complicated answer to that question.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Last year I went and I just sat in the build room. I hang out in the build room a lot and help people build and troubleshoot all the quads they broke. I just sat there and I brought a backgammon board because I can never find people to play backgammon with me, and I got a couple of really solid, enjoyable games of backgammon in. I normally just play with my wife.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us to the final segment. It's barely news.
Yeah, it's barely news. This is normally where we read the super chats for the show.
Any.
We have not had any
SOBs. You could spend $1,100 on a dorm room at Rampage, but you can't leave me a super chat. I see how it is. No, I'm just teasing. What do we got for It's Barely News?
It's barely news. The first one, we talked about this drone a while back. We kind of made fun of it, and as you do, Snapchat released a drone called the Pixie for Snapchats and flying selfies. And now, after, they shut it down after 4 months, they stopped selling them. They sold 71,000 of them, and now they're recalling all of them because they have issues with the battery. And the batteries have been bulging, and they expect they could possibly explode. So
Jesus. 185, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money they have to give back. Like, that's horrible. I mean, Snapchat's pretty wealthy, so I don't, but like nobody likes to give back that much money. That's crazy. Okay, well, we thought that was dumb when we saw it. Did we think it was dumb? Did you stick up for it under the anything that gets people into drones? Was that you?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
I think we thought it was stupid.
That doesn't sound like something I certainly don't think anything like that now. So.
No. Funny. And then we've got another story of an idiot ruining the hobby.
I almost didn't put this one in here because this is just, we may not do ones in the future. I don't know. This is one of those stories that's just getting repetitive at this point. But another idiot flew a drone at a football game and then flew it directly back to himself and landed it where the cops found him and arrested him. So
he got felony charges, federal felony charges. That's criminal. That's interesting. When I think of what could happen to you if you fly a drone where you're not supposed to, it is an FAA fine, which is a civil action. They can fine you and they can take your money. But this guy got federal felony charges, criminal charges. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work. I assume it's something unrelated to the UAS rules, right? That would cause that.
It can't. I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding is that the UAS rules cannot generate a criminal offense. They can only generate a civil offense.
You can get fines, you can be jailed, but they can't get
there are often parallels to civil regulations that create criminal offenses as well. And that's presumably what's happened here. U.S. Attorney Eric Barron said, TFRs, or temporary flight restrictions, are always in place during large... So is the violating of the TFR? I mean, I guess we don't know exactly what he was charged with.
He says illegally operating drones poses a significant security risk that will lead to federal charges. It's hard to know what he means by that, but it's possible they mean like he was flying in a manner that's unsafe to people, and possibly they can take that unsafe to people. Also, this is an article written at a local news station, so the accuracy may be wrong.
This can't be right. He faces a maximum sentence of 3 years in federal prison for knowingly operating an unregistered UAS. That doesn't seem like it could be right, because the requirement to register your UAS is a civil regulation, and you can't get jail time for doing that unless they've passed a law that says operating an unregulated or registered UAS is a crime, which I don't think they have. Nevertheless, the dude is facing up to 3 years in federal prison and a felony charge because he flew his drone over a football stadium. Good. Yeah. What an idiot. Don't do that, you idiot. Stupid. Like, on some level, I hope you don't, like, destroy your whole life for this one moment. Like, that people have done far dumber and more dangerous things and gotten less off, for it. But at the same time, good, you freaking idiot. Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well. That brings us to the end. It's a little early, but we're out of news.
Yeah, we didn't have much news this week. Not much to report on, kind of slow. But as always, we ask that you guys send in news to news@fpvknowitall.com down there in the corner. We'll be on a couple-week hiatus, and then we'll be back at the end of the month for the next show.
I got one more that's being submitted in real time by Augie. After you did that nice outro and everything, we're just going to end the stream with no outro.
Okay.
Let's look at this since we got a little time. Ski Alpin again crashes and injures the women's downhill 2 in Cortina d'Ampezzo, 2024. All right. What's going on here? Oh, why did the skier fall down?
I think this is like a combination of all the different accidents and injuries and crashes at the event.
Oh.
So we just saw the drone section as well.
Gotcha. Okay. I see. So it was a cruciate ligament tear. The quad wasn't or the drone wasn't what injured them. Nevertheless, it just goes to show, like, you never know. No matter how checked out your gear is.
It doesn't matter unless you have some kind of redundant setup where you can fly with losing a motor.
Yeah.
And even then, you're still going to get bobble and weirdness if that happens.
Yeah.
Go down.
Very cool, though, because you could see the safety procedures they had. The drone was flying behind the skier. Well, it has to be to get the footage. And also over the course so that when it crashed, hopefully it didn't go anywhere dangerous and injure anybody.
Yeah.
All right, that is going to do it. We are done. We will see you in the next one. We are going to be gone next week, and we'll be back the week after that. Wait.
Oh, yeah, we're gone, 2, right? Or 1? Oh, yeah, we'll be back on the 20th. That's right.
Yeah, so we'll be back on the 20th, and you can check my live stream channel, my YouTube channel. There is a live streams tab on my YouTube channel, and I've scheduled the next couple live streams. You can see when it is. All right. We're out of here.
Okay.
Bye, Blunty. Bye, everybody.